Hello again. I'm sorry if this microphone makes me look like a bingo caller or somebody acting as a compere at a cabaret or something of that sort, but it does seem to do the trick. Both the Guardian and Daily Mirror newspapers have as their front page stories this morning the allegation that when he was at school 50 years ago, Nigel Farage made some tacky, ill advised, and tasteless jokes about the Holocaust. A single former pupil claims this, although after interviewing a dozen other former pupils at the school, the Guardian could find nobody else who actually remembered his making these jokes. They did, however, say that at school Nigel Farage was umptious, rude, provocative, and enjoyed being the centre of attention. Imagine that in a schoolboy. It's pretty damning, I think you'll agree. This kind of thing really is the very definition of dredging the bottom of the barrel. If I cast my mind back to when I was myself a schoolboy, then I'm sure that I said and did many things at that time which I would be embarrassed to have brought up now. I rather suspect that almost everybody watching this, unless they happen to be the embodiment of the Buddha or Jesus of Nazareth returned to earth, will very likely feel the same way. When we are children, we do say and do silly things. And when we are teenagers, we often behave in a way which makes us feel ashamed in later life. Hand on heart, how many people hold to the same opinions now as they had when they were 14? How many of us behave in the same way as we did then? The fact that two left-wing national newspapers think that it is front-page news that a prominent politician was rude and provocative as a child and enjoyed being the centre of attention shows just how worried Labour Party supporters are about the threat which reform poses to their party. I wonder what would happen if we took the trouble to delve into Keir Starmer's childhood. Would we find that he too had said foolish things and behaved differently from the way he does now? I rather suspect so. The feeling I get from all this is that the left wing in Britain is now sweating blood, fearing that the game is up and that ordinary people are starting to see them for what they are. After masquerading for a century or so as a party of the working man and woman, Labour are now exposed as a group of greedy chancellors who are on the make. I have nothing against greedy and avaricious politicians, you understand, but it is always a mistake to let the mask slip too far. And this happened with the Conservatives and led to their being booted out at the last election. It's only taken 18 months for the same thing to happen with Labour, and now they too are shown for what they really are behind the rhetoric. This doesn't mean, of course, that Nigel Farage is not himself a greedy and avaricious politician, but he's certainly of a different stamp to the Conservative and Labour politicians that we've grown so used to over the last century or so. And this novelty value alone will perhaps be enough to propel him into number 10 Downing Street.